Elegy written in a country churchyard, stanza number 18. Okay, stanza number 18. Struggling, pangs, pains. Okay, you can anyway you have the poem with you. You can write down the meanings if you find out some meanings which are unfamiliar to you, and that will be really advisable. I think we'll get you the notes, everything, but still, for the time being, for your own preference, pangs of conscious truth to hide. Pangs of conscious truth. Conscious truth. What is that? Conscious truth to hide, to quench the blushes of ingenious shame. Quenching means quenching the thirst and all. We say that means quenching means suppressing the blushes of ingenious shame. Ingenious means natural shame, or heap the shrine of luxury and pride. Or heap the shrine, shrine, shrine of luxury and pride. Heaping means, you know how heaping, accumulating. Heap the luxury. Oh, sorry, shrine. Shrine means some temple or something which is of a worshipping kind, a building which you usually go for worshipping, of luxury and pride. Something attached with the high class people, with this incense kindled at the muse flame. Incense, what do you mean by incense? The fragrance of materials you burn to get fragrance, substance that you burn to get fragrance, especially in religious shrines and all, as part of worshipping. Kindling means you are, burning. At the muse's flame, poetic inspiration. Muse is a reference actually. In Greek mythology and all, you list out some 9 goddesses actually in Greek mythology. That's why this number is very specific. You actually present them over different forms of arts and science, certain skills. For art, this muse. For science, this muse. So this is the way. I'm not going to list them out. Anyway, for writing, so poetry writing also, you hold art in general, you have one muse. So that muse flame. Here, what does the whole stanza look like? Rich men, they have their own luxury, pride, everything. But at the same time, naturally, you are having at the same spot some other people who may be skillful. So struggling, painful reality of a particular set of the strata of the society. They're struggling painfully well. So about the conscious truth, they also know that they cannot move forward much. They cannot achieve much. But you should not be very shameful. Because your situation leads you in that way. And already the poet talks about the possibility of some genius among them, but never kindled at the muse flame because you didn't have exposure to that. So muse didn't bestow anything upon them. But at the same time, next major prominent stanza here, far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife. The former stanza talks about the problems, like you have denied muse's flame is denied. There is no kindling of your celestial inspiration. Everything is hidden, and sometimes you feel shameful. The poor villagers, they cannot come to the level of the luxurious and proud people, rich people. But Yeah, you're going to try, see, Grace going to get us the very beautiful part of it. We're going to be taken to the beautiful part of it. What is that? Far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife. Actually, there's an external reference. This later becomes the title of the prominent Victorian novelist Thomas Hardy. That catching this line is Grace writing becomes the title of one of the novels of Thomas Hardy, the Victorian novelist. Far from the madding crowd. What is that? Far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife. Ignoble means degrading. They are degrading strife. But these poor people are far away from that madding crowd. Think about the time in England when industrialization, people were going and shifting to urban areas. But these poor villagers remained where they were. They didn't shift, so they did have their own beautiful atmosphere, surroundings, without being polluted by the industrialization and all. So that's something positive. They're far from the ignoble strife of the madding crowd. A kind of madding crowd. We always talk about this hasty flight. People are in a hurry to accumulate wealth, to compete and win over others, to earn something at the cost of anything. They throw away justice, humanity, morality, values, everything. But these simple villagers are far from such threats. They never go for such ignoble strife. Actually, we have a very debatable point here. If you want to be a critic of Gray, you can start your debate even now, just with this point itself. Who told you that all the villagers are very naive, simple, and all? Ignoble strife is not among them. So it's not about actually any reading of any literary work. It's not actually about reading it or swallowing it without water. Your own critical viewpoint should work out. Anyway, Gray praises the poor villagers. He wants to write down an elegy. He wants to point out something positive about them. He is fond of them, maybe. After all, he is fond of them. He feels for them for being sidelined in every social sector of life. So he doesn't feel the other possibility. Like we always say, villagers, when they gather, they go for some backbiting and all. Some people really prefer flat life, urban city life because of the same reason. See, people are interrupting like anything. And nowadays, even I see when Gray writes down this about a village during few centuries back. Those villagers might have been like that. But when you take that out of that context and read it about any village of any time period of any region of any nation, it's very beautiful. It's really debatable. You will not admit always, especially if you are a person suffering from the disturbance of the neighbors, people of the neighborhood. So that's a debatable point. But at the same time, what Gray means and says is this. They are sober vicious. Sober vicious. So moderate. Sober vicious means they are stands for the villagers. Sober vicious, very moderate, mild vicious. Never learned to stray. Never learned to stray means wandering. Think about that. A person that also is very positive. I will like make it in green only. Mark down it in green. They are sober vicious, very mild. Yeah, they get something. Very simple presentation, a gift may make them very happy. They never think that, okay, today I buy a television. Um, some, let's see, okay, I buy a device. Next day, I see your anyone. I don't want to rob her. Anyway, I don't have such problems. A person who buys a particular technical, an EV device, electronic device. So the time being, he or she is very happy about it. Sorry, time being so happy. But next day, you come across your neighbor or any other relative, so the person comes across a neighbor with another updated model, a new model of it. So the immediately this kind of an irritation comes into being. It's wandering of your wishes. You want that device to be, you want to possess the new model. You want to get it at the earliest. Some people even people are there who see deliberately harm their devices to get something new and we know people are like that. So that is about the wandering wishes. Stray wishes are wandering, but these poor villagers, their sober wishes are never they never learned to stray. So they are happy in whatever they have. That's what grace is. I don't know. Anyway, along the cool, secluded vale of life, secluded. So cool and secluded. You can visualize that countryside. Vale, valley. Vale is a term for valley, vale of life. They kept the noiseless tenor of their way. They kept the noiseless tenor. So course or duration, tenor is the duration, the way, direction of their life. They kept it going in a very smooth way. Okay, it's very beautiful to read, but we don't know whether it is 10% applicable to every villager, even of his time or of any time. People are of different kind, irrespective of their being in the city or in the village. I think essentially it's about the difference in a human being, the characteristics in human beings, not because of your essentialism. That's a theory, essentialism. You're born into a very great condition and situation. Because of that, merely because of that, you are happy. You are great, and no. And Shakespeare's in some of Shakespeare's play, you can come across such a statement. Like some are born great, so but born great. Some become great by their deeds. It's not the exact quotation, but that's what he means there. I will get that quote for you later. Yet, even in these bonds, from insult to protect, yet even in these bonds, from insult to protect, some frail memorial still erected nigh, bonds from insult to protect. Some frail memorial, some frail memorial. What is that? Weak, fragile, frail, very weak memorial. It's okay, but for them also, it's good that some frail, even though it's very weak, not very decorated, still erected high. No, sorry, nigh, N-I-G-H, nigh, erected, nigh, N-I-G-H, nigh, with uncouth rhymes, with uncouth, that's the problem. Uncouth means not really refined. Sometimes there may be some monuments erected in their memory, in view of their memory also. And some rhymes are, let's see, written or carved on them and shapeless sculptured depth. Like the tomb is not in a very shaped and refined or very perfected way. Implores the passing tribute of a sigh, at least. This country churchyard, Though these are not those of very famous and rich and some great men, still they were alive at one point of time in history. So even though these memorials very weak and the writings on them are not really of in refined language, it's unquote, unrefined. Unquote stands for not refined actually. But the poet invokes, he invites at least a passing person to tribute the tribute of a sigh. Okay, a sigh. With a sigh, you remember, you try to remember the existence of this person or to pay respect to the existence of that person who lies buried in this very simple country churchyard. So implores, actually, he invites, he would like to get. So he begs, actually, it's about a begging. You please stay and, yeah, tribute of a sigh at least. You don't have to bring flowers. You don't have to be a very frequent visitor. But at least you're passing by. Please pay attention. They also were alive. They were also there on this earth. They also were very beloved of their. They were also relevant in some families. They worked hard to help others, at least their family members. So this is the way this poet or speaker invites attention uh, of the passers, these people who are passing. Okay, you may not see any great writings in memory of the people because they are not there is no war hero here. There is no great poet lying buried here. Still, they also were alive, and all the possibilities, all the denied possibilities like celestial, hidden, dormant skills, some unknown Milton, and see not the skills completely hidden and buried with them, as you also see the dialogue in Drishyam movie and all, that truth will go with me. So this is the way with them they went with there is nothing actually left out for the public to be invited attention of the public. There may not be anything on their part, but at least they also lived once here. And that itself is enough. You also pay. You please pay a tribute of a sigh, tribute of a sigh, S-I-G-H, sigh. You know, that kind of a sigh you make. Ah, this is it, sigh. Passing sigh, actually again a transferred epithet. Actually, passing sigh stands for passing tribute of a sigh, passing tribute of a sigh. Not actually sigh is passing, but you again invite that sigh actually stands for the persons to sigh as a tribute. As a tribute, they might sigh at least in memory of them. So that's all with stanza number 20. 21 is remaining, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26, 27, 28, 29, then the epitaph from 30, 31, 32. In total, 128 lines. We finish off here for the time being with we stop here for the time being with the stanza number 20. So out of 32, you can calculate how many stanzas are remaining, and we will come back. We will resume the session soon. Thank you.